Good evening, chatters. Hello, BC 56th, the 65th, the 50th, the... Hey, BC. Who else is hanging out? How come it's not easy in the YouTube app just to see? Oh, I don't need your permission. I don't need to know what's fine. I'm just gonna call you whatever I call you. You know those are the rules. Why do you have a crown with a number 1 next to you now? Oh, you are a top fan. You got 50 XP, and so DeHagley is also a top fan and has received 25 XP. I have no idea what the hell any of this is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the YouTube app right now. I'm just looking at the chat in the YouTube app, and apparently you have been awarded top fans status by YouTube's, and you are earning XP for it. And you are now part of the leaderboard. And so, yeah, that good job, both of you. Maybe. Maybe it's the amount of comments. Anyway, so here we are for another night of Hollow Knight, and honestly, I don't think we're going to go as long as the previous streams, just because I'm a little beat. It has been a very long day and a very long week, but let's just go ahead and get started. Oh, Chunk Flunkins, hello. You are also a top fan, and you have gotten 25 XP. Oh, this is really weird. So, it's giving out... So it gives... Why are you number 3? Do you know what the XP thing is? It's also very nice of you to say that you've been looking forward to this. I've actually been looking forward to this all day. Though it's been a long day, but it was actually a very good day. One of the best days I've had in a long time, and I find myself in very high spirits. So maybe we will end up hanging out a little longer. Let's just see what happens. Let's go back to the City of Tears. It is one of the best areas in the game, and it is followed by my favorite area in the game. So, yeah, I really like these casual hangouts. It's just fun, but at the same time, I do get to talk shop, because I really do love talking shop. You know, talking about design and stuff. And here we are, back in the City of Tears. One of the things that I really appreciate... Thank you, BC 50, yeah, thank you. Thank you, the 56th. One of the things I really appreciate about Hollow Knight, but didn't really appreciate until talking about it just now, is how the game moves you from goal to goal. It's not one of those games that just... Even though it is a Metroidvania game, and it does... Oh, this is going to be a disaster. Alright, before I say anything else, I'll get back to the whole goal concept. I have been playing Silksong because I want to beat Silksong before I have to stream it. So I have been switching back and forth between Silksong and these streams, and it's really screwing with my muscle memory. So this is going to be a disaster. So it's interesting, by the way, that the title for City of Tears doesn't appear until we come down the elevator, because until then we were just coming down a tower, and now we're in the city proper. And we have two directions we can go. This little sign points us in one direction, and if we're aware of it, we notice that it's nail-shaped like our little nail, which we can see in our inventory here. And also we might remember, because of our fight with the Mantis Lords that we failed at, Quirrell told us to keep on the lookout for a nail upgrade guy. Right? He said there was someone who could upgrade our nail. And that's a very attractive thing for the game to throw at you, is like upgrading your primary weapon. Yeah, see, I'm still trying to do like the aerial combat. Silksong offers much better aerial combat where you can just kind of like bounce back and forth off an enemy. And little Hollow Knight here, he does not do any of that. And there's another little nail. And also, this motif here suggests that we are on the border with the fungal wastes. And again, the game is really, really good about allowing you to see the sort of the logic of its world connections, so that you get a sense of where the borders are and what connects up to what, which of course the map does as well. Though we don't have the map of the City of Tears yet, so we can't see that it's bordering right up there. But let's go inside here. Avatar Cliffy is saying, I feel strongly that you should be able to pull one of those big nails out and use it. Yeah, right? So this is the nailsmith, as he just revealed. Once again, it's all the little details that make this game so great. How a character's name does not appear until they are introduced, and an area's name does not appear on the screen until a certain point that was decided that was the point at which it was time to reveal that, like I just pointed out with City of Tears. So he will strengthen our nail here, which will increase the amount of damage it does, which is about all it can do. And then if we keep talking to him, he tells us if we find a piece of pale ore, we can make our nails stronger. So now that also establishes kind of a collection quest where we'll keep our eye out for pale ore and then keep upgrading. And the game puts a number of enemies down here. And it's really smart the way it does it, because it puts enemies that took 2 hits to kill, it took enemies that took 3 hits to kill, enemies that took 5 hits to kill. And so now by attacking them with our stronger nail, we can immediately see the difference, which basically comes down to everything taking 1 more or 1 less hit to kill. Though actually there's a little more to the calculation than that, but this isn't Rusty at the Super Forge, so we're not going to be analyzing the damage of Hollow Knight. Oops. Right, and I forgot, you can't just tap the button to heal. It's also worth noting that the number of layers that they use for the parallax scrolling in the back gives this place a really good sense of depth, even though it's a 2D game. And we're just going to keep exploring in this direction. Oh, and then we got another weird sign. We'll follow the weird sign. What the heck? We're also learning, by the way, how to operate the elevators. Elevators are this area's primary means of getting around. We can actually switch the elevator in mid-flight by whacking the lever. But there's a door, and we're going to have to come around from the other side. But that's okay. We're used to that now. We're used to coming around from the other side. Okay. And no one will talk during the very exciting Hornet appears again scene. Okay. So this is where I want to mention what the game does with goals, because this is kind of unusual for a Metroidvania game, where in the beginning it started us off with the goal of finding our way down to the city at the heart of Hallownest, right? We saw that sign at the beginning of Green Path, and then it said basically follow the Pilgrim's Way, and we have been following that the whole time until finally we got to the City of Tears. We ended up locked in. I don't know if you remember that, but we ended up locked in, so we can't leave the City of Tears now. And now in our exploration, just when it feels like, well, here we are, we have two things that appear. Number one is Hornet. She comes out of nowhere and tells us if we want to solve the thing or know what's going on or end the curse on the kingdom, because she's not really clear about what the hell it is we're trying to do. She says, seek the grave in ash. And we have no idea what the hell the grave in ash is, but it's another thing to look around for. And then we also hit that statue, and this statue tells us that it reminds us that the black egg exists. And it puts that icon on our map, which reminds us there, it's kind of like setting us up there and saying, this is where it's going to end. That's going to be your final boss. But we also can't go any further in the direction we were going. And that's blocked off to us. So we're kind of stuck going back now and seeing where else we can go. Because, we went left, we went right. We rode the elevator down. It's not like there were a bunch of other paths we could take. So I guess we go back up. And hold on a second. There's a platform over here. And it's actually really good that the game kind of locked us into this area. Because otherwise, we could go back and just start searching through the whole game for okay, what did I miss? I've kind of dead-ended here. So it counteracts a problem that Mark Brown referred to as the ever-expanding explorable world. Where as you play a Metroidvania game, as you unlock more and more areas, the world just keeps getting bigger and bigger. You're expected to keep all of it in your head. And every time you find an upgrade or you're not sure where to go, you guys are just going to have to accept the fact that I'm just Goomba stomping enemies and failing for a while until I remember that Hollow Knight is not Silksong. Because I also keep failing to activate my attack in time. I probably should just stop relying on the jump attacks so much. Okay, so we have a path down here. We can drop down here. And this actually brings us back around to that door that we found. And it also brings us here, where we see Relic Seeker Lem. In Relic Seeker Lem, he collects collectible items and trades them in for money. So as we've been wandering around, we've been finding these little Wanderer's Journals and Seals of Hallownest. And he will trade a certain amount of money for each one. This is useful because, for two reasons. It serves two game purposes. Number one is that there is a lot of stuff to buy, and this game gets very expensive. So having a way to come up with a huge amount of money, and by the way, I'm doing this the stupid way, because I'm trading in all of my relics for money right now, which means if I die, I'm going to drop all that money in the world, and if I fail to get back to it, then I'm going to lose thousands of geo. And he does give a little bit of lore and backstory about the world, and well, I will at some point talk about the backstory, but that's not really what we're here for. The other thing that this does is it gives you stuff to find down side paths. And this has always been an issue with Metroidvania games, where as you're exploring the world, there are all these optional paths and side paths, and okay, enough of that. There are all these optional paths and side paths, and a lot of Metroidvania games struggle with what to reward you with as you go down those paths. You know, like in games like Metroid and Super Metroid, it's always either energy tanks or missiles. And here, like, this game does have energy tanks in the form of the masks. And it doesn't have missiles per se, but it also has mana upgrades, which upgrade our maximum mana, but we haven't found any of those yet. Or I think we found a piece of one. But beyond that, the Metroid games always struggle for things to reward you with. So in Hollow Knight, we have charms, which allow us to equip different abilities and change the way the game plays in small ways. We have the masks and the mana, which are your equivalent of your missile tanks and your energy tanks, like I just said. And then we also have all those little relics, which reveal a little bit of extra lore about the world when we bring them to Relic Seeker Lem. And we also have the... I'm trying to think what else. Obviously, there are optional abilities. We have spells. Later on, we will learn that we can power up some of our spells. And this, by the way, is the elevator that we were riding to begin with. And it's kind of difficult to picture it right now, and then we have another door here. But what we're basically doing at this point is we're... Whoa, screamy, explodey bats. We have these rancid eggs, too. We don't know what they do yet, but eventually we'll know what they do, and they are also just a valuable little prize to find for exploring down all the side paths. Oh, and the grubs. I forgot about the grubs. We got to rescue all the baby grubs. And then there's money deposits. So there's all sorts of different little things that the game can reward you with. And then the elevator is in my way, so now we got to bring it down. So there's all sorts of things that the game can reward you with for going down the side paths and doing the optional platforming challenges. And all of it is reasonably useful. When you compare it to something like, well... Obviously, you know, comparing it to Metroid, you get into this place where there's just not many things to reward you with. And then you look at some of the Castlevania games, like Symphony of the Night. We have a guest. I just need to pause for a minute. Hello, sweetie. Do you want to sit? You want to check your food bowl first? Oh, dear. All right. Stream is paused for just a moment. My very professional streaming here. I had to make sure that Biscuit's food bowl was put out. So, but it was. So she's going to go check her food bowl, and then she might come and sit with me, or she might not. She's a little nervous. We actually got a new couch. Because my couch was shot. It was causing me pain. It's been shot for 2 years. But anyway, and she does not yet trust it. So she may not sit. And then we have another barrier. It's not clear without the map, because we don't... Oh, and there's a sign... Yeah, there's me not being able to do the platforming. There's a sign telling us there's a bench up above, up ahead, and we really like benches. Benches are our favorites. Which is another thing that we can be rewarded with, is benches. Also, optional bosses and hidden areas. There's a rich cornucopia of things to find that make exploring this game a delight. And everything is rewarding in one way or another. Of course, we could just... This door looks ominous, but we know that the bench is up and to the left, and we also see paper, which tells us that our little mapping friend is probably nearby, and I forget that those guys do that charge. So our mapping friend Cornifer's nearby, likely. Oops. I also hit the wrong spell there. That's okay, I handled that pretty well. So we're definitely going to go find our mapping friend Cornifer. And find our bench, and we find them both together. Except this is a toll bench. And then we're going to visit with Cornifer and buy a map. Now I've commented on every map so far and what it does and when we find it. And the City of Tears now is an interesting one because by the time we find it, we have explored almost everything that the City of Tears has to offer us. Like, there's almost nothing left on the map that wasn't already marked by our friend Cornifer. But what's interesting is that the only two passages marked on the map now that are obvious, or you know, that are unexplored, is our path to the left, which ultimately, if you look at it, it seems to indicate that it brings us back to the fungal wastes. And then there is just this one passage to the right that we haven't checked in yet, which was that ominous door that we bypassed to come up here. So we did already explore most of this area, and Cornifer's map is here to say, if you keep going in the direction you're going, you're just going to loop back around to the world you've already been to. And if you've been thorough in your explorations, you know that there's nothing out there yet that you can't. There's nothing out there where you can go right now. You're not done here. You haven't fought a boss. You haven't found a new ability. And we've trained you through multiple areas that, you know, you should find a boss or at least find a new ability in every area. So you are probably not done here. But the map doesn't really show you anything other than one passage that you should probably go back to. And it's not helping you find the boss, or it's not helping you find the area. It's just saying that when you get done here, you're going to go back out into the world, and probably that new ability is going to do you good. So again, that just shows the amount of thought that went into not just where to place these maps, but also what each map shows about the area you're in and what behavior it drives. And we're definitely going to go back to that passage, because there's no point in going back to the world we've already been to. So let's go through the ominous door. And we immediately get locked in to fight a new enemy. I hate these guys. I forgot. Whoops, and then I zipped out the door. Forgot how vulnerable they are to the spells. I guess because I have the Shaman Stone equipped, don't I? So the spells are very, very powerful. And now here we are in the Soul Sanctum, which doesn't get a big single screen, or it doesn't take up the whole screen, because it's a sub-area of the area that we're in. Right? Okay. And then we have this. And we notice that there's some cracks on the wall there. And I don't know if you can hear it, because I don't know how the sound is, but you can actually also hear Cornifer humming. So this is actually a shortcut back to the bench. This will be very useful when we return here later, because there is a door that needs an ornate key that we can't get in just now. And what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to send the elevator up to make it easier to get back this way in case I die and need to come back from the bench. So the City of Tears is also an interesting area because it's one of those spaghetti areas that kind of zigzags back in on itself. Like, just to get up here, we had to go up and then down, and then up, and open a bunch of locked doors to basically just open the passages. And once you do all of that, and here we go again, we have another locked door. There's a lot of locked doors here. And once we do that, like, it's a lot easier to get around. There's also these... Oh. There's also all these ghost guys. It's a very creepy area. And then there's this swirly stuff where if we break it, it gives us soul, which we can use to cast more spells or to heal. One of the things that, by the way, that makes these little floor boogans, that's what they are called. Like, I'm sure that's the official name is floor boogans. One of the things that makes the floor boogans particularly annoying, and I've commented on it on several enemies now, is how they change speed drastically depending on how close you are to them. Oops. Alright, so we opened the passage, and we don't have to take the elevator up because we now opened this passage. Oh, and now we have a mini-boss. I don't remember this. Oh, I do kind of remember this guy. Okay. I don't remember him enough not to get hit by him, but I do remember him. Right, I can't keep... Ah, damn it! I forgot how healing works! I'm trying to heal like Hornet. Like, I can heal in midair. Okay, I have got to stop switching between the two games. Like, I was trying to heal in midair. I'm trying to heal with a single tap of the button. The controls just don't work like that. Alright. Yeah, so the Soul Warrior. And now we can kind of see where we were at. And also you can see, that's why I left the elevator up, because it's just easier to drop down. If it's not clear visually, by the way, the elevator has spikes on top, and those spikes will hurt you if you fall on an elevator from above. And obviously if an elevator comes on you from above, it will crush you. But we can go right back to our Soul Sanctum guy. Alright, let's, nope, yeah, okay. Oh, this is hilarious. This guy's not hard, by the way. But there's, like, anybody who played Hollow Knight is, like, slapping their forehead in frustration right now. It's like, what is wrong with angry? It's like, the only thing worse would be if you died to, like, the massive moss charger. Alright. There we go. Okay. Alright. That was awful. I'm gonna keep claiming the excuses my muscle memory for the controls is terrible. And then we can go up or we can go down. Though, if we're keeping a good mental map, we may remember that there is a locked door, and likely this will open a shortcut, but likely I'm not going to survive long enough to open it. Yeah, no, this is, yeah, we... I am definitely putting the crappy in crappy game stream tonight. Alright. And I really do. I keep trying to make... Because I was literally playing Silksong 20 minutes before I started this stream. And... I'm like halfway through Act 2 now. Because I really do want to just beat the game so that I can say I've finished it. But... man, has it really fucked with me now. Like, it's not even like, okay, I was playing it the other day. It's like, I was just playing it 10 minutes ago. And I'm also just not looking where I'm going, and I'm also chatting, and I'm also in a good mood. I also have hot chocolate. I have a kitty nearby. She's still not sitting on the couch. Still doesn't trust the couch, but she's loafing right nearby. Okay, and I missed what Avatar Cliffy said, as indicated by the classic method of making sharp things shiny. Oh, yeah. One of the other things that makes this area particularly interesting is this is an area where we are encountering spellcasters who very clearly, because they are using the same, like, damn it. I hate these guys so much. I hate them with fiery passion that burns like 1,000 suns, or whatever the hell I'm trying to say. I hate these guys. I'll take the primal aspids over these guys. I bet Hornet could beat them. Hornet's a better fighter. Okay. Alright. I don't think we've encountered primal aspids yet. I will have a lot to say about them. The worst enemy in this game. But let's take it a little slow and a little bit careful. And so look at the speed of the little floor bug in there. And now look at it when he gets close enough to me to aggro. Like, he immediately changes direction and rushes towards you. And this is a thing that a lot of the enemies do in this game. They use a sudden speed change and often a sudden direction change. Which makes it a little, like, it is actually a little hard to get used to. But I was commenting on, okay, so these guys use magic. And so did the Soul Warrior. And in fact, the Soul Warrior actually fights a lot like you do. Oh, we got a rattly floor. I don't know if we remember the rattly floors from earlier in the game. And also, I'm refusing to use spells now. Because I should have just blasted him with the soul match. Oh, no. Oh, I hope I don't make a hash of the Fatty Soul Bug. Fatty Soul Lord, whatever the hell his name is. Alright. So, no lie, the boss of this area is my favorite boss in the game. Which people find weird. Because he's an awesome boss, but he's not one of the ones where you're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, it's the Mantis Lords or anything like that. He's just like, he's a boss. But he is no lie my favorite boss in the game, and my favorite boss to fight. Oops. Oh, I'm out of mana! My second shot didn't go off! Alright, and now we found another... Now we found another charm. I have the game turned down so low I can't hear it. I don't know if that matters. It does, so the game does use its sound well, because it will use things like the hissing of an enemy to indicate that it has seen you and is about to change its speed. Alright, so this is it. This is my favorite boss in the game. And there's an awesome part to this, too, which if you don't know what it is... Anyway. So we're just going to fight the boss. Fatty Wizard King. Okay. And again, notice how, like, the wizard bugs sort of trained you for part of his moveset. And the floor boogans trained you for part of his moveset. And he even does this same thing where the wizard bugs do, where he has those whatchamacallits, those things that... Oh, I forgot he does that fake out. Ooh. Right, so the only move that he does that you haven't been prepared for in this area is that ground stomp where he... That is an opening for me to use my soul screen. And he also does that fake out too sometimes where he just... So hopefully at this point you have gotten used to leading the wizard bugs like soul shots. So that you kind of get this, because they track you, but they're lazy. They don't track you super well. Oh, okay. That's that. I'm awesome. Never mind. Ha! I got my hollow mojo back. Alrighty. Denied. That is such a great moment. Right? Where it's like, okay, I won. And what this... Whoops, I forgot about that. And one of the things that the game... So his second form is not very powerful. Right? But it does do that crazy several dives, and then it just stands in one place spamming spells at you. But he goes very quickly. I'm going to talk all about this. Okay. This is an excellent example of a boss fake out done totally right. Because you have, as you grab the item, thinking that you've won, you're not, the boss reappears, but not in a way that screws you. It takes so much time. He reappears, he smashes the ground, you fall. You have plenty of time to realize that the fight is not over. And then his second form has a much more limited move set, and it does it real quick and slams it out. But then you can pretty much just pound on him to beat him. Okay? Which is in contrast to a number of fake-out second form bosses that happen in Silksong, which are fake-out bosses done wrong. And I didn't even comment on this, but we have now our new spell, the Desolate Dive. Okay, which is the ground smash that he was using on us. And he repeatedly used it so that when we got it, we would know exactly what it does. And it also overcomes, or it breaks open those rattling floors, the weak floors. And we have encountered several of them. So there's another rattle boss, or another rattle floor. Hello, Kate. I'm sorry you missed what happened. I was awesome against the Soul Tyrant, or the Soul Lord, or Fatty Soul Buckle. Which I totally wasn't expecting, because I have been otherwise having a completely disastrous game tonight. Anywho. Okay. And notice the game is now, like, driving home. This is the spell that breaks floors. It does not want you to miss that. It wants you to be thinking back to all of the floors that you have encountered that could have been broken, especially one in particular. Oh, and there was a grub up there, but we missed it because you can't break out of the Desolate Dive. Or maybe I never tried to. I don't know if you can cancel out of the Desolate Dive. Doesn't matter. Ah! I bounced off the lever, and then I didn't land on the platform. And now the floaty boogans got me, because those are the floaty boogans. You got the floor boogans, and you got the floaty boogans. Oh, and there's another floaty boogans. Alright. Alright, and we are rich, too, beyond the dreams of avarice. Hello, Melissa De Silva! Alright, and there's our little grub buddy. Okay. We are not commenting, by the way. For those of you just joining us, we are not commenting on the fact that Angry seems to have completely forgotten how to control the night because he has been playing Silksong all week up to 20 minutes before he started this stream, and my muscle memory for this game is totally shot. It's hilarious. I keep trying to do like the pogo flips off the enemies. It's just gotten worse since last week. So we are not. So anyway, so what was I talking about? Okay, the Soul Master. Soul Master, excellent. Two-phase fake out boss done right, done artfully, and now we remember we have smashy floor power. Oops, but I'm gonna need just a little bit of soul to smash that floor. I need to find an enemy. I've been over-consuming my soul because I have been doing a lot of healing because I'm being clumsy a lot. So we just need a floor boogin. There we go. Yeah, we gotta smash all the floors. Well, so it's actually important that the game is doing this. Because our next progress point now, and we already kind of talked about this because we talked about the map and what the map does. And there really is nowhere else to go now in the City of Tears because both of those passages leading off to the right, they're blocked by locked doors. We can't get around them. So as far as our exploration of City of Tears goes, we are now done. The map says that. So the only thing we can do now is go back to the world that we previously explored, which is what the map was telling us when we first found it, is that the only other path is back to the world. And so the question we're now asking ourselves is, okay, were there any rattly floors that we can now break through? And interestingly, there was only really one. There's actually two, but there's really only one. And we will go back and get the other one. And it was something that we found in literally our first hour of playing. Because it's in that crystal area. Oh, it's our buddy Zote the Mighty, the greatest character ever. Watch where you're going, you soggy vagabond. I don't want you splashing me. I've had a miserable time trying to keep dry. I love Zote. Knight of great renown. Zote the Mighty, Knight of great renown. Okay. Being overly devoted to one's duties is no virtue. I also love that Zote the Mighty is in every way the opposite of a knight. Okay, like the first time we find him, he is a damsel in distress. We literally have to save him. And then when we do save him, instead of rewarding us, thanking us or giving us a smooch or whatever, he instead yells at us. Now he's telling us, don't be devoted to your duty. He was bad-mouthing the quest giver because he talked nasty about the elder bug when we met him back in Dirtmouth. Like, he is literally the opposite of a knight in every way. The complete opposite of the whole knightly trope. It's a very clever, funny deconstruction. This, by the way, also brings us back to where we were. And I am actually going to go back this way for a reason. Just to show something off that I know some people miss when they play through this. So we did get locked in here, right? But there was a rattly floor. Oh, I said there was one rattly floor. There's actually two rattly floors. There's 3 rattly floors we can now go back to. This is one, and all it does is free us from the City of Tears if we want to go back to the fungal wastes that way. And it also lets us get back around that door if we want to come into the City of Tears from this direction. And then we'll go check out the other 2 rattle floors. But we're going to go back the way we were going. Boop, 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 and back up here. Okay, so now we're back up in here. And this is, on the map, this is that elevated platform room that is marked in the upper left. And it's actually marked similarly to a similar hanging platform room that was displayed in the first area of the game, in the Forgotten Crossroads. This is also, I think, the second time we found one of these weird wagon wheel trees. Because, you know, it's a tree that is sprouting little wagon wheels from it. What the hell is that? We don't know. We don't know. It's fine. We're going to walk into some enemies, take some damage, because, you know, that's what we do. That's my playstyle. Ow, not in the face, ow, not in the face, ow, not in the face, heal. So. Anyway. It's actually not a whole lot to comment on at this point. You know. Huh. This is a weird point in my commentary where one thing has just failed to lead to another. Oh, we found a simple key. Now that's interesting because we could go back down because there was that locked simple key area. But I'm gonna... Or there was that locked simple key. But there's also a simple key... there was also a simple lock in Dirtmouth that we might remember. So we're kind of spoiled for choice as far as the simple key goes. There's 2... and notice the game, by the way, uses the language like a simple lock, a simple key, and we did find that locked door that has an ornate keyhole. Oh, and then we have a sign that says Stag Station this way, and literally there's spikes on that ceiling, and I knew that, on that roof. There's spikes on that roof. I knew that. I could see them. And yet, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and jump anyway. And... You know, I have beaten this whole game. Just want to say, I can beat the game. Okay. Yeah, and now we're just here. And we have a stag station. But again, I try to avoid using the stag stations. And I think I talked about this because the game is actually very clever about how it funnels you from place to place and keeps you moving from goal to goal. You know. But also now, whereas before we had this, we had this goal that the game gave us, which was reach the city at the heart of Hollow Nest. And now, and we were basically assured that we were on the path because there was only one path. Well, now we have a different goal, which is find the grave in ash, whatever that means. And we also have the goal that ultimately says your destiny ends at the black egg. Right? There's our... And this is also interesting because from the map, we're expecting to end up back in the fungal wastes. Like just the way the map joins up. But instead, we find this little toll booth with a lift. Yeah, Avatar Cliffy is saying, City of Tears is where this game turns into VVVVVVV. Or is that VVVVVV, or is it pronounced spike, 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 spike? And the game actually brings us back to the Forgotten Crossroads, which is very convenient. And again, it's using convenience along with salience to get us to now think of that rattly bridge that we can smash with our desolate dive. I mean, I know it's the letter V, But the V's represent spikes. Like, that's the point. And I haven't actually been using the Desolate Dive for combat. I honestly don't. I am a soul spitter. What the hell is it? The soul shoot? Fireball. Whatever. I can't remember what the fireball is called. Let's... Boom! And what's not clear, too, or I guess I say what's not clear. It's obviously very clear if you just literally watched what happened on the screen. The Desolate Dive has an area effect. So after it hits the ground, it sends out a little shockwave to either side that damages enemies. Okay. So the game hammered home that we use the Desolate Dive to smash floors, and it made us do it over and over again, so that we were trying to recall where else have we seen smashable floors, because it's not super available, right? And what I mean available is like referring to the availability heuristic. At what point did you encounter the information in the past, and do you remember it? So the game made us do it a lot as we worked our way back out of the Soul Sanctum to actually give us time to root through our memory. Like that, I am going to say that I think that, as much as I compliment Team Cherry, I think that was more of an intuitive understanding rather than like an intentional, like I don't think they sat there and said, hey, let's make a whole series of these smashy floors so that the player has time to root back through their memory and recall the one smashy floor they encountered all the way at the beginning of the game. I think, but ultimately it did work out that way. And I think that was just shows their intuitive sense. Okay. But there is also another smashy floor here that we may not remember. Chunk Flunkins has been playing through this between... that's too long a message to read on my PlayStation. I appreciate this game more I think about it. It's brilliant. It really is. It's a very well-designed game. And not to go into the whole, gosh, Silksong was such a letdown thing, because I love Silksong. I love it enough to have put hundreds of hours into it and have not yet beaten it. I love Silksong. I love the way it plays. I love the way it feels. But you can't help but compare it to Hollow Knight. And what I wanted was a game that iterated on the already great world and scenario design of Hollow Knight. And you know, Silksong just wasn't it. Silksong has Metroidvania elements, but it's comparing it to a masterpiece. Yeah, Chunk Flunkins is saying it's comparing it to a masterpiece, and it is. But it's also, there is no reason Silksong couldn't have been better than Hollow Knight. There's no reason why Team Cherry couldn't have done this, but even better. Like, it's not like I'm comparing somebody else's work to it, right? So, and I think the long development actually worked against it, to be totally honest. To be totally fair, I think a lot worked against it. Couple of little things before we move on. First of all, we can go check in with our grub friends. We can go back up to the store and buy all the stuff. And also, there's just it's just a fun little thing, and I don't know how many people know about it, so I'm just going to throw it out there, because it's just one of those fun little bits. So we're gonna take a little detour before we go where the game wants us to go. Which... Another thing that I need to comment... Oh, actually, so here's an interesting thing, too, but we can't do anything with this yet. We can now climb up here because we have the claws, and we can find these little maggoty dudes, and they have grabbed the corpse of the maggot that was in the false knight's armor, which, by the way, lore-wise, the false knight that we fought isn't actually the knight he was supposed to be. It is a maggot who stole his armor, which we can find out by reading the lore, if you care about such things. And while I care about the overall story and themes of the game, all the little individual details, I really don't care that much about. But there are 3 spells in the game, and you can upgrade each spell once, which we'll eventually find out. And every time you return to the snail shaman here, who gave us our first spell, they will comment on the new spells that we have found and the upgrades that we have found. They'll tell us a little bit more about each spell. So they tell us about the Desolate Dive, and this one is about the abyss, or the soul shout, the screamy, the soul scream. Soul Scream, Fireball, Desolate Dive. For some reason I can remember Desolate Dive, though by next week I will... I wonder if that's intentional. Avatar Cliffy is observing the resemblance between the Snail Shaman and the robes that the Final Fantasy Black Mages traditionally wear. And I had not picked up on that. I wonder if it's intentional. It probably is. But it could also be like the other problem though is I didn't even try to lay. I just gave in. Like, if you were watching me, if there was a camera on me, you would have seen that I just pulled my fingers off the buttons. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna fall all the way down. I am not gonna manage to land on any of the platforms. I'm not even doing the jitterbug thing. So I'm just accepting my fate. I am giving in to gravity. It is so satisfying to keep coming back here. And I love the little grub. They're so adorable. I love the grubs. Also, if we're observant, we might notice a cracked ceiling here, and the light shining from above, and there is some money here. And another one of those wagon wheel trees. So we've now seen 3 of those the grub up. You win, Avatar Cliffy. I'm gonna figure out how to give you extra experience points in the YouTubes. Just for that. Is that money I never smashed? What's wrong with me? The grub up. Okay. That was great. I already got that. Okay. Alright, so now we're back here. We have a simple key. Rather than using the simple key down below, I'm going to use it here.
Really?
And then we meet Gigi. Gigi is actually very convenient. And I commented on the rancid eggs. And we'll never, unless I really fuck up, we'll never use Gigi. You know what? Even if I do fuck up, we're not going to use Gigi. But, Gigi will summon your little corpse shade back to you if it's somewhere in the world for the price of one of those rancid eggs. I got the mask from here. Did I by the way, this house belongs to Bretta, the bug that we rescued from down below, and the fanfic writer. Because she writes this whole fanfic about how you rescued her, and then smooched her. At least, and then, like, she puts all she's got a Hollow Knight a doll and a picture of Hollow Knight. You know. She's definitely like a, what was the a Wattpad girl or a fanfiction.net, one or the other. I also don't know if I commented on this, but every time you return to the Elder Bug, he comments on two things. One is that the changes that you've made to the town. So he'll talk about when you bring Bretta back, and he talks about when you rescued Sly from down below. And now he talks about the confessor at the end of the graveyard. And the other thing he does, he gives some lore stuff. I kind of forgot about that. But then he will often talk about the next area that the game wants you to go to. It's kind of a little hint system. So now he's talking about the Crystal Peak, which is the next area that we're heading toward. But first, we are going to spend down all of our money. We're going to buy our new simple key. So now we could go back down to that other door, but we're not going to yet. We're going to keep moving forward. We'll buy another mask shard. We'll buy another vessel fragment. These will eventually... Oh, we have 3 of them now. So this gives you a little extra battery of mana that you can heal, that you can fill up. So actually, there is a numerical value to the mana. You have 99 mana initially. That's your maximum mana. And then 33 mana to cast a spell. And then that's why you can cast 3 spells at a time. And each one of those little vessels holds 33 mana as well. So, the other thing we could do, actually, yeah, I'm being so... I can't help but be completionist. So, the other thing we'll do is we're going to go out and buy... We're going to go back to Charm Lady, Salubra, not Salubria. Even though I'm sure it comes from the root Salubrious, which I think means tasty. I think it means, causes you to salivate. That's my fun fact. So we're going to go back and buy, because she has charms, and we want to buy out literally everything in the game. And then we'll make progress. And then we'll go to what is my favorite area in the game, with my favorite music in the game, my favorite dynamic music in the game. Just simply the best. But first, Salubria. And another thing it's worth doing is that, or worth noting, is how well... Okay, so once we have 5 more charms, she'll sell us another charm notch. That's okay. So we need 2 more charms, and then she keeps selling us charm notches as we acquire more charms. So one thing that is worth noting. I lost it now. What was I going to say? I had a thought. Oh, okay. So the whole thing with, merchants in different parts of the map that you have to keep returning to, and, the grubs that you constantly want to go back to get your prizes, and, Relic Seeker Lem is... It is actually a way of rewarding your ability to explore in a way that isn't just you went I don't know what my thoughts just suddenly shifted into... I feel like the bandwidth in my brain just went down. The web provider in my head just throttled my bandwidth. Let me start that thought again. In general, in video games, when you want to reward exploration in a video game, you want to reward people for exploring, you generally reward them with discoveries, right? You know, oh, you went down this passage, or you were thorough and you explored every area, so you found money, and you found charms, and you found this, and you found that. And that is the super obvious way of rewarding exploration. You reward exploration with discovery. Easy peasy. Okay. One of the things that most games don't do nearly as much when they're exploration for... Oh, this is getting sad. Our little singing friend... Okay, she's succumbing. Yeah, this is really sad. She's already got the red eye. She starts talking in all caps. Yeah, this is not good. Anyway. One of the things this game does very well is rewarding you for exploring by making the game easier to play. The more you reward it. And this was, by the way, the big... Oh, shit, there's something up there. And I can't get up there now. Okay. So now we're in Crystal Peak, my favorite area. One example of the way the game does that is by having you constantly circling around and like opening new passages, opening doorways, so that as you explore, retraversing old areas gets easier. And like the Forgotten Crossroads is a great example of that, because there's actually 3 corridors that run across it. And once you fully explored it, all 3 corridors become available. There's a top corridor, a middle corridor, and a lower corridor. All 3 corridors become available along with the connections between them. And with Salubria in the lower right, and the Grubfather in the upper right, and the connection to the town in the upper center, having those 3 corridors that run across it, and the ways they connect to all the different areas, the better that you understand the layout of that area, the easier it is for you to backtrack through it. It becomes more convenient. Thank you, Kate. I did go back and grab it. It also helps when you're plotting routes back to the merchants. So you're like, oh, I want to go back to Salubria and buy more charms, or I want to go back to Legbreaker and buy the rest of the charms there, or I want to go back to Sly and buy his stuff. The better you can plot a route through the world, the easier it is for you to do all of those things. Of course, this is another thing that gets completely undermined with easy fast travel. And I've commented on how I think fast travel undermines certain aspects of this game. And that's a big one, because so few games of this type, so few exploration-based games, find ways to reward your mastery of navigation, which is something that not a lot of games test. We will come back to this, because there is one quest in this game that illustrates it wonderfully, but also the whole end game illustrates it very well. Oh, we have a bench to the right. I'm going to be quiet for a minute so that we can all just appreciate the Crystal Peaks soundtrack here, especially because I'm going to want to comment on the dynamic music later. Oops. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the one area where the music quiets down. Okay. I love this particular song in particular because it sounds like both crystals and machines. Like, this is an area of crystals and machines. Listen to that soundtrack. It is, we need a song that is crystals and machines. You guys are ruining the soundtrack here. Like, I think this particular music track nailed it more than any other in the game, just for being the perfect fit for its area. And that is extremely impressive. Like, you could hear the design note in it. Like, that was the note that was given to Christopher Walken. Yeah. I gotta have some crystals and machines here. You know, and some cowbell. Because Christopher Walken, most people don't know that, but he did the soundtrack to this game. Christopher Larkin, who did an excellent job on this soundtrack overall. I got a fever for cowbell, right? And I do an excellent Christopher Walken. It's definitely my best voice. Like, you were like, oh, Christopher Walken came here to play Hollow Knight for us. That's wonderful. He took his break from writing. Damn it. Okay. I'm gonna die. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna die here. There's no way around it. I also haven't been paying attention. I've just been wandering at random. Which, hate those guys too. Okay. I did get a bench, right? I did find them. Okay. And this is another area now where it's doing the same thing, where the game is not giving us a map. And this is a very confusing area altogether. Like, this is even more than the City of Tears. This is an area where you have a couple of different directions to go right off the bat. And the layout is kind of confusing. It's all sort of interwoven back and forth. You can see, by the way, what these guys do. They shoot a crystal, and the crystal expands into a spiky hazard, which you can then smash, but you don't want to bump into it. And then I'm just going to zip right off the edge. Okay. Alright, we're good now. I got my 1,000 geos back. Okay. Okay. And these, the little shellbacks, or shardbacks, or whatever the hell they are. And now we have just a drop here. And there is something across the way. And notice, too, that it has the same visual language. It signals us as similar to the Snail Shaman's little hut. There's one of those torches, and then there's the spikiness. And it's like, oh, there's a Snail Shaman over there. So I definitely want to get over there, but I don't know how. Alright, but that's okay. We'll go back this way, because I'm not just going to drop down that pit. That would be insane. Alright, so we'll just keep exploring, and we'll see what's what. And I just missed that jump, that's all. Oh, I guess I should probably heal, since I have one mask point left. So, I did notice somebody in the chat, and I didn't catch whose name it was, when I was talking about the mana, and I'm sorry if it was whoever it was, that I don't remember who asked. But when I was talking about the mana, and I commented that you actually have 99 mana, and you know, spells cost 33 mana, they said, well, why isn't it just 1 mana? You know, like, why don't you just have 3 mana and it's 1 mana to cast a spell? And there is actually a reason to do it that way. It has to do with leaving yourself the ability to create like power-ups and abilities and effects that then modify the mana. So if you were to say just go with 1 point and 3 points, and then you wanted something that gives you 50% more mana, or make spells cost 50% less. Well, now you have nowhere to go with that, right? Because you're now working with the numbers 1 and 3. There's just nothing you can do with that. You can't easily build modifiers to the mana system. And so designers will tend to use larger numbers than they need to allow them. It might not be obvious, but this is back to the beginning area now. So we basically did a zigzag all the way to the right and all the way to the left. Okay, so, and in this particular case, like the Shaman Stone or whatever it is, oh, that's a damage increase. But like the focus that increases how much I gain. And also you'll notice that when I strike an enemy, okay, I'm actually gaining a third of a third. Or I'm gaining some number. I don't know what the exact number is. But it takes you a certain number of... This is back the way I came, isn't it? This is... Okay. Yeah. I have gotten lost. Okay. The same, by the way, is true of the hit points and damage in the game. Yeah, it's 11, right? Because the base... So, as a base, you gain 11 mana for each hit. And then again, with the Shaman Stone, I think it's like a 50% increase on that. So instead of 11, I gain something else. Are we commenting on VVVVVVVVVVVV again? Just because the game has spikes and spike platforming challenges. It's... Okay, no, that's fair. It's fair to be traumatized. Yeah. And to be fair, VVVVVVV and this game, they were inspired by the same video game pedigree. We've talked about that. It's all drawing on the same source material. VVVVVVVVVVVV, or 6 Vs. Oh, now I get what... now I understand what Kate was trying to tell me. Kate was trying to tell me, stupid, just say 6 Vs. Right. Okay, now I get it. Okay, so 6 Vs is a throwback to many old 8-bit platformers that excessively used instant kill spikes that traumatized people. Like, for example, the Bubble Man level in Mega Man 2. Okay, Celeste also. It's, again, a throwback to those... Shit. I actually have to pay attention to the timing here. This is another one of those one of those little gauntlets with a reward. Bam, bam. Okay. Stop talking. Because I also have to listen to the sounds. Okay. And again, once you get through the actual challenge, the game gives you a shortcut back out. Crystal Peak is actually an interestingly designed area too, and I really wish I had the map, because it would make it easier for me to point this out. But the way Crystal Peak actually works is that there are basically 2 vertical shafts. One going all the way up the left side of the area, and one going all the way down the right side of the area. And actually, the other side of this gate is our goal for the area. Okay? The way you navigate this area is by climbing all the way up the left-hand side, and then dropping back down the right-hand side. However, there are all of these little cross pieces where you can get across from the left to the right. Basically bridges. And as you go up the left-hand side, if you then take the bridges across to the right, you can open all these little gates along the way that let you... I don't have mana here, and these guys are going to zap me. And I also saw Chunk Flunkins. Sorry. Chunk Flunkins. Sounded like... I did not mean that to sound like a 90s cartoon show nickname. Right, I can't down dash. You know what Hornet can do when she has the her dash speed? She can down dash to go down very quickly. Alright, I gotta shut up again and do this. This is tight timing and I'm not good at it because I'm old. Damn it. See, I'm old. Whoa, that was close. I didn't need to jump. Here you can't just dash across, too. You actually have to jump. So, you can see how it kind of escalates. Like, even in this little... these three poundy mashers, it kind of changes the challenge, because the second one requires you to do a little jump, and the third one is just faster, and also because you're higher up compared to where the mashy comes from, it's actually that the timing is a little bit tighter. It's very well done. And then if we drop down here, by the way, this is one of those gates that now unlocks the right-hand vertical shaft. And now we have to do the mashy things with a moving floor. So we're just building on the challenge. And this is actually something that is actually very Mario-esque, where each area has this interesting gimmick to it, and it builds on those gimmicks to build a number of different challenges based on the same set of pieces. We can also... Oh wait, I don't have mana! My Desolate Dive was not going to happen. You can kill those guys with a Desolate Dive. And you can kill the laser bugs with... You can kill the laser bugs with spells, as I showed off. And then if we ride up here, we can't go any higher because there's another gate. So we just keep... I've been up here already, haven't I? Yeah, there's nothing new for me up there. Okay. Alright, so we'll kill the little shard back. You know. And then once, and again, now notice that once we navigated the area, the other thing we had was the opportunity to shut it off. So one of our rewards for that is that we don't have to do that bullshit again. Alright. I also love how as you're climbing up these shafts, you can, once you've learned what those bugs do, you can actually see where the safe zones are and where you're going to be in danger. You know, you can kind of evaluate before you run in and get into trouble. That sign, by the way, actually matches the other signs that point us to Dirtmouth, letting us know that this path will lead us back to Dirtmouth. Or my canonical pronunciation, by the way, is Dirtmouth, because I think it's a parody of Dartmouth. Okay, now we have our map, and you can kind of see what I was talking about, where there's a vertical shaft up the left, and then a vertical shaft down the right, and we go all the way up the left, and then loop around, and then we're going to drop back down. But also note very conspicuously is that dropping off down the map. Down in the lower right, where I said, oh, I'm not going to jump down that pit. Well, now the map is kind of saying, you know, you're probably going to have to jump down that pit at some point, sir. So just be prepared for that emotionally. Whoa. I forgot they have a slash attack. That was embarrassing. Also, again, tapping the button doesn't heal. You're not Hornet. Every time one of my spells goes off when in a completely non-violent situation is just me. Oh, that's a sign for a bench that I smashed. It points in this direction. So here we have a bench, but it is occupied. I would like this bench, please. So of course we use our attack because that's how the game taught us how we say hello. Okay, I'll stand here. You aim your laser at me. So the Crystal Guardian is actually the easy... Oh, damn it! You heard the word easy come out of my mouth just as I died, too, right? Like, you heard that. Okay, what I was going to say is not he's easy. Okay? He is the hardest easy boss ever. There is nothing challenging about him. He is not that fast. He super telegraphs. He gives you plenty of time to react. You can see exactly where he's going to do damage. He's basically just a zoning enemy. And yet, something about it, and I know exactly what it is. Okay, there's some very clever design that may be accidental going on with him. Okay? But he is a very, very simple boss in every respect. But what he does is he has the laser sight that shows you where he's going to attack, and the lasers that come down that show you, and they don't damage you right away because they give you a moment to get out of the area before they become damaging. Right? And it entices you to spend... Whoa. It entices you to spend just a little bit too long in the damage area before thinking, okay, I can get one more hit in before it becomes damaging. Right? Alright, can you come over here? We'll have our little... Oh, see, now he used the Abyss Shriek spell. Because the little shade levels up as you do. He has your abilities. So you have this tendency to stay in one spot just a little bit too long to get a couple extra hits. And the other thing is his laser shot, if you don't bait it out high, which is the best thing to do, is try to be... Or you can jump into it for literally no good... Or stand there and heal. Or just stand there in his face. Just please shoot me. Yeah. So he's really easy, and nobody should have trouble with it unless you're just a complete moron. If you're a moron, he is challenging. That's like the one thing he exploits is if you just are stupid and suck, he is very challenging. He is designed to exploit and punish a very particular playstyle. The playstyle of just being stupid. Just standing around, staring slack-jawed at the screen, wondering why you're getting killed. If that's your playstyle, then you're not going to beat him. Which means he's like the perfect boss for me. He's my kryptonite. Fatty Soul Buckle, I, one run, no... perfectly fine. But Crystal Guardian, literally no one struggles with, ever. Yeah. Yeah. And that's also, that's why I was sitting there trying to yeah, I'm going to jump into that laser too. I saw that laser coming, and I was like, nah, that one's probably not going to hurt. That's a fake laser. That guy, he didn't bring his real laser, he just has a flashlight. I'm safe. It's a laser pointer. He's just playing with his little cat bug. Damn it. Alright. I'm gonna log. I can't believe I'm saying this for Crystal Guardian. Okay, first of all, you come on over here. Because I'm fighting literally the hardest... The hardest boss in the game right now. So, the other problem is if you jump too soon, when his tracking laser is on you... Crap! I let him panic me! I was holding down the heal button, and he started to jump at me. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna land on me. I'm gonna release the heal button, but do nothing. So I released the heal button. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna hold out on the heal. And then stood there. I can't even explain what the hell I was doing. Again, he's just exploiting my natural stupidity. Okay. And I keep forgetting those guys have a horizontal slash. And the other thing is the reach on their little pickaxe slash is longer than you think it is. Which, yeah, now Angry's making excuses like you're not all watching me and thinking, wow. Favorite game ever, huh? 300 hours in, best designed game. You love this. Yep. It's really showing, right? Okay. I'm now afraid to talk. Oh, and Biscuit's coming over. What, you wanna sit on me because I'm not having enough trouble with the Crystal Guardian? Now you've decided you want to sit together? Is that what's gonna happen here? No? No, you're holding off, huh? You're gonna wait until I'm locked in battle and then you're gonna jump up on my lap, aren't you? Okay. Alright. Alright, first, come on over here. Little shade. Oh, no. No, you jerk! I can't even beat my shade now. Alright, enough of this. This should not be that difficult. Damn it. I was trying to bait his laser high. Like that. Because paradoxically, staying close to him is actually better. Because then you can, when he does his laser, you can jump over it. Damn it, he was lasering. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. We'll just spam attack. No. We just got into a slap fight in the corner. It's fine, it's done. Holy shit. Oh, man. Man, that was awful. And then we got another gate, so that's as much as we can do, but we've now unlocked this gate, which just gets us back down to where we were. So you can kind of see that we're ratcheting up. Except he's not. Kate, you and I both know I'm going to have to face him again. Only worse. Yeah, that was awful. Okay. Oh, and we found a shopkeeper's key, which I would like to point out, in case shopkeeper is not obvious enough, it also looks like Sly's head. I also like how the simple key just looks like somebody bent a piece of metal. Like, it doesn't get simpler than that. I haven't checked my charms. I'm fine with my charms. I don't start changing charms until later on. Ow. Ow! What the hell is happening here? Okay. Alright. The reason why, by the way, I keep killing all those laser bugs is because even though I have said that I am not making it a point to go out of my way and complete the Hunter's Journal, whenever I play through this game, I do make it a point to complete the Hunter's Journal. Which, the Hunter's Journal, in case I didn't explain it, is you get this listing of all the bugs in the game. They appear in the journal as soon as you kill one of them. And then, after you kill a certain number of them, it unlocks their full entry. So you can see Aspid Mother, I have to kill 5 more of those. And then the Aspid Hatchlings, I have killed enough of them to earn. So I am playing as if I don't ever want to come back and have to hunt down 30 of those things, or however many it is. Yeah. There are also a few entries of enemies that literally are invincible, like the golems, which are like those spiky centipedes that burst from the floor. And that's, you have to find lore objects in the world. Like we found a fossilized golem, and that unlocks the full entry. And there's a few enemies like that where we can only fill in their recording or their journal entry by actually finding a lore thing. So, and then if you complete the whole thing, you do get a completion reward, and you get a special little trophy. Who knows? I might do it in the off-screen just so I can show it off. It is also, like, we can't go up there. We don't jump high enough. But it is possible to actually pogo off one of the miner's picks to go up there if you want to. Like, get that miner to throw a pick and then pogo up it. But that's, that's cheating. That's Metroidvania that's Super Metroid mockball bullshit. That's not the right way to play a game. Sequence breaking is wrong, and you shouldn't do it. Okay. Like, people who skip Spore Spawn and get the super missiles early are everything that is wrong with our society today. And now we are moving back down the right-hand shaft, as the game intended. And here we have a little... And this is just like a little mini challenge here. Just for this little journal. And then we have this. So this unlocks the gate where we were at. But now we can move a little further to the right. And then dive bomb, and then ride these things down. Now we're moving back down. So it was just a big go all the way up, go all the way down, and now we're on the other side of this gate. And then we can see that weird thing there in the background, and a sign. And this is where the game wants us to go. And I think here I'm going to be a little quiet because I think the athletic theme for Crystal Peak kicks in. All right. So you got to enjoy the athletic theme, and you also got to see that I can actually platform if I shut my mouth and just concentrate on it. And that actually is one of my favorite little platforming sequences in the game. I love the combination of the timed lasers, which this is also kind of interesting because we have not encountered those timed lasers in the world before. It was actually the Crystal Guardian that taught us how they work so that we could get through that platforming challenge. So the boss actually trained us for that challenge, along with those flipping platforms that turn into spikes. And now we get, this is a really awesome power up, the Crystal Heart. Right? So we charge up and super dash. So cool. And now, as I said, we would be done. But here also is where it uses a reward and the environment to teach us that we can also super dash off walls. Right? Because that's the natural thing to experiment. We can see over there was the grub and there's this gap. Well, what if we just try it? And there we go. So the game didn't have to explicitly tell us that we could super dash off walls. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to explore a couple of these passages. It's not really necessary. Maybe it is. Yeah, we're just going to explore the two horizontal passages that I couldn't go through earlier without the super dash. How are we for time? I think actually this is a good place to cut it before we drop down any further. So we'll just clean up Crystal Peak here. We get another little... This is, again, like another really fun platforming challenge that I just blew. Sweetie, not right now, okay? Yeah, Daddy there's crystal lasers shooting me. Look at them. Look at the crystal lasers. Would be better if that last one was on screen. But I also like... So one of the nice things about the Crystal Dash, and why you can get away with it with a timing challenge like this, is that it's basically just you can sit there and hold the button indefinitely, and all you have to do to fly is just release the button. And so it's really easy to just get it down. That's why I was having absolutely no trouble with it. And this one is just a simple sequence. Right? And then we're through. And then we are rewarded for our efforts with another charm. A crystal-y charm. The deep focus charm. The other reason why we have to call it a night soon is because Biscuit is actually telling me that it is time for our nightly ritual, because every night at about this time, we go in the kitchen and we take out the lint roller and we give her a good grooming with the lint roller, and then we share a tuna treat. Actually, she has the tuna treat. I just break it up and hand feed it to her. But I'm going to get killed here, aren't I? I'm going to get myself killed. I'm going to get my stupid butt killed. Plus Biscuit is getting... Shit. No, I'm sorry. That wasn't at you. That wasn't directed at you. All right. Actually, you know what? Then I'm gonna use the other path, but this also gives me the opportunity to go. You know what? I'll show off Confessor Shiji. Confessor Shiji. Okay, since I can. Okay, so the other opportunity, or the other path we can take now that we have the crystals, or the crystal dash, is we can go this way. And actually, in the middle of the pet, oh no, in the middle of the pet, nope, not yet. In the middle of the pet, nope. At some point in the middle of the path, we will have the opportunity to cancel the crystal dash and find a secret. So, oh, there it is. Oh, except I crashed into the wall and it's just there. If you do it low enough, you just crash into the wall. So I did not need to make a big deal about that at all. But also, if I get killed here, I'm going to lose thousands of geo. Yeah, okay. But honestly, I don't think there's... It's just the laser bug, or just the shard bugs. Oh shit, it's this guy! It's a fake grub. Damn it. Honestly, so here's the thing. This game and Dark Souls share a very important moment that every player has. The moment where you realize that money actually isn't all that. So at some point in your first playthrough, you had a moment where there were thousands of monies on the line, and you blew it, and you lost all that money. And you had that, and you went through the immediate denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance in one quick go. And then you realized, actually, you know what? No biggie. Really? But this is what Confessor Gigi does if we give him a rancid egg. Which is actually very handy if you're ever in a position where you can't get back to your corpse. It's nice to have that option. And I think that was a Team Cherry invention. I can't think of any game that does corpse running as a mechanic that also has that little bypass opportunity. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, so next week we're going to find out what's down at the bottom of the pit in Crystal Peak. But I'm also going to give Sly his key. Whoops. And then once we give him his key, he has more stock. And one of the things he has is an elegant key, which probably fits that elegant lock that we had encountered down below. And then we have enough money where we can buy a few other things. Like we can buy another mask. Why not? Buying more masks is always good. We might as well just spend down all the money. And we'll buy, because we do want to have every charm by the end of the game, so we'll go ahead and buy Heavy Blow, even though we're never going to use it. Because I'm not showing off all the charms or anything like that. Oh, and then the other thing that I'm going to do, I am going to buy one set of custom pins. Okay. So these little custom pins, I'm doing this for stream reasons. Because I don't need the map cluttered up with pins. But what the custom markers let me do is now actually point to things on the map. Because the custom markers let you leave pins on the map so that you can mark particular things that you want to go back to. Like we'd say, oh, I want to make sure I go back to here. But now it also gives me a crosshair where I can say, so what Crystal Peak wanted us to do is you go up and then drop back down. And then ultimately it brings you back here because bloop, and that's the critical path through the area. So now I have the option to do that, and that will make all our streaming so much better. But that is something for next Sunday, same time. Yes, I know. Daddy's saying goodnight to his friends. I know. Okay. So I will see everybody next Sunday, but thanks everybody for hanging out. And congratulations to all of you. It looks like everybody has somehow... Great Kate has now taken the number 1 spot and earned 150 experience points. Avatar Cliffy is second with 150 experience points. BC the 56th is third with 150 experience points. Chunk Flunkins is fourth with 100 experience points. DeHagley is fifth with 100 experience points. And Melissa De Silva is sixth with just 25 experience points. And I have no idea what that is, but YouTube has just started giving everybody experience points. So everybody, thank you for hanging out. It has been a lot of fun. I was looking forward to this, and I really enjoy the casual Sunday night hangouts. They're a fun part of my life. Could you cash them in for angry prizes? Yes, I will. Whoever, I don't know. I'll figure something out. Whoever's like at first place at the end of each stream, I don't know, I'll swear at you or something. I don't know. I'll give you a coupon for a one free answer to something in a live stream. And by the way, for those in my community, tomorrow night in the Discord community, I am doing a 2-hour stream on how to run mystery adventures. How to write and run mystery adventures. So be sure to hang out, and that will be available to Anglican tier subscribers as a recording later on Patreon and Subscribestar if you missed the live show. But so look forward to that. I'm really excited for it too. I was working on the script tonight. So anyway, everybody have a good week, and take care all, and thanks for hanging out and all that other good stuff.